all over the place. There's going to be mixed reactions to our main event of the evening for the WWE Universal title. Now, in the build-up to this, obviously Roman Reigns made his return last week. Everyone was high on that. You were particularly high on it on the podcast. That's fine. I was a little bit more reserved because, miserable old man and all that. I wanted to see the direction of his booking. I instantaneously got the shot in the arm I wanted when he was seen with Paul Heyman on SmackDown. And Paul Heyman said, he'll sign a contract in due time. They really built up to this. Is he going to sign it? Is he not? It seemed very evident from the get-go what they were doing. So the match starts with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman battering each other. And what it essentially is a singles match with a semblance of a contract cash-in later. The guys ruin each other. We even get the ring implosion spot, and then all of a sudden, Roman Reigns' music hits. We don't get new music. We don't get new gear. But we do get a heel Roman, or at least that's what they're insinuating. Particularly with Paul Heyman. If you're with Paul Heyman, you kind of, by association, are a heel, which is fine by me. He then proceeds to come down to the ring. He gets involved, hits a few spears, gets a steel chair out, the usual kind of fare. The Fiend gets the mandible claw, so to speak, in on him. He then low blows him, hits Braun Strowman again, and 1, 2, 3, new Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. I was enjoying, actually, the interactions again between the Fiend and Braun Strowman. This was by no means a bad match. This was more of a spectacle, though, and I've come to accept this from WWE. When it becomes, especially with the Universal title, more so than anything else, there's a real kind of emphasis on sports entertainment over wrestling with these matches, The big kind of clashes, Godzilla, King Kong, that kind of thing, and finisher, central, and all that. I knew that was going to be the case. That was fine. I think the guys put in a good shift. I like the ring implosion, although at this point it has been overdone, and it's a bit disappointing because even you called it before, haven't I? Is the ring going to explode? Is the ring going to explode? It exploded. It didn't shock me in the way that it normally does, even though Charles Robinson took the mother of all bad pumps, bless his heart.
I don't think I remember the last time I've laughed so hard watching wrestling, just watching Charles Robinson.
Yeah, you enjoyed the shit out of that.
I don't know why. I think it's just I've been so tired all weekend, and then he fell against the ropes, but then he fucking threw himself out. It was just it was great.
He took it like
Sorry
a boss.
to interrupt, but it was fantastic.
That's fine, mate. That's fine. I wanted you to have your piece on it because I know you enjoyed it. For me, I didn't hate Roman Reigns going over. I had accepted this. I knew he was going to win. I knew it. So it's pros and cons. So I'll start with the cons because I want to finish on a positive. For me, I hate the fact that Bray Wyatt held the belt for a week and was transitional. I thought that was fucking stupid. I hate that. What's the point? I would have actually much rather Braun Strowman retained in some nefarious fashion, or because Roman Reigns interfered, whatever way. I don't like this idea of hot potato with belts as it is. But when you're doing it with what is supposed to be one of your world titles, it just, for me, furthers the point that this belt is one of the worst booked belts in the history of wrestling. It's embarrassing. It really pisses me off. Also, Roman Reigns, same music, same gear, same look. Not much has really changed from an image perspective. I'm hoping, from a positive standpoint, that's going to change over the forthcoming weeks, because I'd like to see that, and hopefully it's going to be a slow burn, ease people into the process, because obviously the problem with Roman Reigns, of course, is that he's got such a huge cachet with fans, isn't he? Everyone loves the big dog. His stands, as they're called, are fucking lunatics. They'll come after you for anything. But that being said, I do like Roman Reigns, and there are a few positives. First of all, seems like he's a heel, which I really appreciate. He also is working alongside Paul Heyman. I think that is nothing but gold. I love the idea that Paul Heyman's going to speak for him more, because that saves him, just admit Roman Reigns isn't fantastic on the mic. He's not terrible by any means, but he's not world class. He's got an amazing presence, he's ridiculously good looking, this guy. He's WWE's answer to Jason Momoa in so many ways, and we all know how handsome that motherfucker is. Let somebody else speak for him. Let him just stand there as this dominant, ridiculously handsome berserker, Just give him something around him. I think that's quite exciting. The one thing that people probably might forget about this, but I'm really excited about, is the idea that Alexa Bliss is gravitating towards Bray Wyatt. You mentioned some Harley Quinn references, even the mallet. I think a photo of her dressed kind of like Harley Quinn holding that mallet, you know, with Bray maybe laughing behind her or something, would look so incredible. It popped the shit out of me. She looks so hot, like so stunning, so sexy, so evil in some ways. I like it. And, you know, they're apparently sort of, you know, leading towards her going a bit darker and a bit more heel. I think this is fascinating, and I think it's exciting for Alexa Bliss, because Alexa Bliss is a decent worker. Not an amazing one, but a decent one. But where she really thrives, thank you. My Amazon Echo agrees, of course. The one thing that she really thrives at is character and persona and mic work. And I'm so excited to see where this leads. I'm really curious about it. And if they're going to make these two like a weird kind of destructive power couple of some sort, I'm thrilled to see that, because it's something that Bray Wyatt can do where he doesn't need the title, because he feels so destructive and so awesome and so overpowering and supernatural that it kind of, you know, he kind of has to be the champion. This way, you can kind of get him away from that a little bit more. So I'm excited by that. And also, there's nothing stopping him going after Reigns and Alexa Bliss getting involved. And, you know, there's plenty there to be excited about. So although I'm not enamored with Reigns winning the belt, you know, especially in his first match back and stuff like that, I do have some positives, and I will allow WWE the breathing room and the time to prove to me that they can do something different and something unique with this. So, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm looking forward to SmackDown. That's not something that I've always really felt.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of us in our hearts, I mean, I know this for a fact, we both wanted the Fiend to retain, but in our heads, we both knew Roman was going over. We knew the only reason it was a triple threat was so Braun was going to take the pin, be it the Fiend or Roman. Like, we knew that going in. But you're right, the interactions between the Fiend and Braun are still really fun to watch. Just two big hosses beating the shit out of each other. I did call the ring imploding, because anytime Braun Strowman climbs up, the ring's just going to implode. That's just... I can recall him going up to the top rope twice. Once against the Big Show, and this time, the ring imploded both times. I'm just playing the odds here. And now we have what is effectively a heel Roman Reigns, which people have been clamoring for since, I don't know, the beginning of time. He's with Paul Heyman, who is still one of the best talkers ever. I know with Brock, he can get kind of boring, because he just says the same thing over and over. With Roman, hopefully it's different. Roman can talk for himself. It's the same kind of concept as CM Punk, which we all know I'm not a big fan of. He was a good talker, but being able to bounce off Paul Heyman made it that much better. And now we have this new dynamic. We have a new Universal Champion. I mean, that belt's taken some beatings. It is probably the least prestigious in all of WWE, and it's their secondary world title, so that's great. But hopefully, the same with what I said about Bobby Lashley earlier. Hopefully, Roman can maybe put some prestige back on this. He's got the pedigree to do it. Pedigree is a dog food. I hope people got that subtle pun. So let's... I'm cautiously optimistic.